Hey guys, it's Carl Brown from GuitarLessons365.com. Got a fun one today. We're gonna learn how to do Wrong Way by Sublime. So this one's got some, it's kind of really stays consistent throughout rhythmically, and it can be a little bit of a challenge because of that. I'm gonna talk about the way that Bradley Nowell actually does the strumming here, which is different than I just did. It's more kind of reggae, classic reggae style, which I'm not a reggae player, but I'll kind of show you how I'm doing it and how he's doing it and stuff like that. But we're gonna go through the entire song, and so it's a great rhythm guitar workout. Now, before I get into it, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Ring the bell, support your favorite guitar YouTuber, whoever that person is, whether on YouTube or in there. If they have a school, I have a school. There's a link to my academy in the description. That link's a special YouTube only link too. It gives you 40% off my annual subscription, and that's the biggest. You won't actually see that price on the website, so if you want it, you have to click that link, and you'll be able to get 40% off of the annual subscription, and you'll have that price for life. As long as, doesn't matter what the prices go up, it doesn't matter, you'll always have it, as long as you keep your account active. So anyway, please go check it out. It's all my courses, personalized support from me, live streams with me every weekend, so it's a lot of fun. All right, let's jump into this track. I'm in standard tuning here. So I mentioned the rhythm and what Bradley's doing, so I'll do that before we actually get into the actual song. So a lot of traditional reggae guitarists, so reggae itself, the standard rhythm here is a lot of hits on the on the upbeat. So like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's kind of the reggae style. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So there's a couple elements just going on there. One, you're really kind of accenting that upbeat only, and then you're immediately killing it. So you gotta create a very staccato sound. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So it's two things going on there. Accenting that upbeat, hitting the upbeat, and then real quick mute. So you wanna work on that first before you start going in the song. All right, so let's talk about how Bradley's actually doing it though. So what's awkward here is he's doing his strumming with a downstroke. Typically, you'll see that a lot from people who play a lot of reggae and they make it a main part of their style. Even though the hits are on the upbeats, they're gonna hit it with a downstroke. Now, that's very awkward for me. I don't play in that style a lot. So if I'm sitting there going 1, 2, 3, 4, so 1, 2. I mean, you can kind of get it going. But that's what Bradley's doing. He's actually hitting those kind of chord stabs. He's doing it with a downstroke, not an upstroke, even though an upstroke, if you've not played in this style before, it's probably, since it's an upbeat, it's more natural to hit it with an upstroke. Plus, he's kind of really just hanging out on the top strings. So you'd think, hey, if I want to hit these top 2 or 3 strings only, I should use an upstroke, right? It's right there. But once again, he doesn't do it like that. He kind of approaches it more like a traditional reggae guitarist would. So, that, I'm gonna leave that up to you. You're gonna see me probably play it with upstrokes. It's more natural for me, and I think most people, but it makes it a great challenge if you can get through the whole thing and really staccato downstrokes on an upbeat. So you can try that way as well. All right, so with that out of the way, let's get into this song. So this intro is, kind of sets us up where it's no strict rhythm here, but it's across a E major and a D major chord. So let's do these first. So you just play the 7th fret there on the A string, then you'll bar the 9th fret across the D, G, and the B. All right, and then you'll take that shape down 2 frets and it becomes a D major chord. All right, so now what he's doing, I don't know, I'm sure he didn't do it the same way every time, but he just kind of picks through kind of strums the chord and then picks through it. So when he first does it, he doesn't really pick the B string at all. So kind of the G string comes that top note, and then when you come down here, now he's to the B string, and then when he comes back to the E, then he gets that top note on the B string. And then once again back down. So I'm not really gonna say, go let's get the exact pattern of what he's doing. He's pretty much just kind of arpeggiating lightly across those 2 chords, and he does it 4 times. So you kind of strum it first. So strum, then pick. And that last one, you just hit that strum. And then we get into the kind of reggae stuff, or ska, or punk, whatever. So now, we're going to start here with this. It's going to go across these 2 A major and G major. So when you see him play, he'll start it with a full chord, and then he gets into the real staccato playing, and he's pretty much just hitting the top 2 or 3 strings. But it just goes between this A and G chord. So he plays the full bar chord in his, when you see him play it live. But when he gets going in the rhythm, he's just hitting the top string. So we have this full A major, full bar at the 5th fret there, 6th fret on the G, 7 on the D and the A. So that down to the G. So it does same chord 2 frets lower. So when he first hits it, you're gonna hear just a full down up across the whole chord. And then so gotta really, that snappiness comes from muting really quickly. Now, like I said, you can do it upbeat, upstrokes as well. Like, it's more comfortable for me to do it that way. But to really make it, you gotta really get that mute timing. As soon as you hit it, mute it. Don't have to come off the strings like this. Just release pressure and then put it back down. So it goes between that A and G 3 times. Just the top 2 or 3 strings. So after 3 times there, then it's going to go to A up to a C, which is the same. You start with the A, and then we take this up to the 8th fret, the same chord shape. All right, so we now go to this between the same thing we did kind of earlier, the intro, those 2 chords, but 2 frets higher. So it's this F sharp major chord down to this E. Now, when you're gonna hear this top note on the 2nd chord. So this 1st chord, he's just kind of hanging out on the G and the B strings. This is what you're hearing in the staff. But on the 2nd chord, you hear the high E string in there as well too. Now he's doing it still by barring it like this. So he can get that note on here and then have this thing arcing over his, so it doesn't mute that string out. That's pretty awkward for a lot of people. So you can play it just like this. So you can play just like this one like this. But because the 2nd chord here has this, and he does it when he moves it down as well too, this high E string in there, you might want to play it like that just to make it a little bit so you can get that note out there and it's not being muted out by your ring finger or whatever. But so it would be like this. Or you can use the same shape. All right, so after that, F sharp to E 4 times. So then we go to this kind of the same progression that we did before with the A to G, but once again, a whole step higher, like he moved up there as well, to this B and A. So that's the thing, he's kind of just sticks with these same little progressions, just back and forth between 2 major chords. But he does them in different orders, as you'll see as I go. So they'll kind of have to go through the same song, even though it's a lot of the same stuff, it's done in different orders as it goes through. So now, so far we've done the intro and we've done A to G thing 3 times, then up to the C, right? And then we did the F sharp major to the E major 4 times. All right, look at it. He plays it like that. So then we get to the B, this section where we're at a B major chord to start. Now the only time you hear him do this, he actually does this leading into that. So what's going on? It's a full bar at the 7th fret. And you're gonna want it to be that B major chord like we've been playing that A and the G, but you wanna keep these fingers off at first, hit the chord, and then hammer all those 3 notes on. So he does that just to lead into it. This is that one time that he goes to B. He doesn't do it the rest of the song. So you hear that, and then it's the same rhythm, B to A, 3 times. And just like we did previously, we're gonna after the 4th time, we're gonna go B up to D, which is the 10th fret. So it's exact same as the A to G riff that ended up going to C. It's the exact same thing as that, except 2 frets higher. All right, so like I said, this thing, just keeping something that consistent and very staccato the entire way through without any kind of letting something ring out. You gotta really keep it really snappy. That's the challenge here. So remember that B started with that hammer, and then. All right, so after that, we'll call it the B section. We get back to the chords that were in the intro, except we're gonna play them in this kind of reggae ska rhythm. All right, so it goes back to those same 2 chords. Like I said, you can play them like this, so you can get that note on the 2nd chord there and the high E string in there. Because that happens here too. It's like this chord, he's kind of hanging out on these 2 strings, the G and the B, is the ones you're hearing. And then when it gets down to the D chord, you hear the top 3 strings. So what he does here, and he does this a little bit later too, we go through this E to D. We do it 4 times, but between the 2nd and 3rd time, he's going to slide back into the E. So it looks like this. E to D. Again. And now slide into the E. All right, so that's the one little slide happens in there. Then we go to the A and G section again, like we did before. It's gonna end the same way with that C. Remember, that kind of starts with a kind of full hit on the chord, down, up, and then we get into the actual staccato stuff. All right, from that A to G again, it goes back to that F sharp to E 4 times. Remember, it kind of first hit that. Always kind of start each new section with a unmuted, not staccato, just 2 full strums there. So that F sharp to E 4 times. All right, then it goes back to the B riff, which is that B to A, B to A. This one doesn't start with a hammer though. Just kind of starts with a normal, like he did the other ones, just like a full strum, and then into the same. So 3 times here with the B to A, and then that B to D. And then here, we're gonna go back to the E to D, and once again, it's gonna have that slide in the middle part of it. So I didn't do the slide. Got it. And here's where he mixes it up. He doesn't go to the G to A in the same pattern. He goes back to the B. All right, so we're going to end it here. So that's like I said, it kind of throws you off a little bit. It goes just to that B to A to end the song. At the very end of it, we got to start with this full strum. 3 times B to A. And then this ending here you do that B to the D, but when you get to the D, kind of hit it 3 times, kind of let them ring out. And that is it for Wrong Way. It's a really great rhythm guitar workout. It can be deceiving when somebody sees this and goes, that's really easy. To keep it that consistent and that like snappy throughout the whole song, whether you're doing it with upstrokes or you're doing it with downstrokes like Bradley did, it's a challenge to keep it going for the entire thing, and then try to sing over that. It's not easy at all. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.